Business does over 100 million a year in revenue.
I bring home over $1 million a year.
All online?
All online.
We do about $500,000 every single month.
How much
That's
do I
a
make?
lot of money.
This is a weird question.
Today we're at an e-commerce
It's a
conference
trap.
asking online millionaires how they got rich. Are you
At
comfortable
Blue
sharing
Chicken,
how
how
much
did
you or
you
your
get
businesses
rich?
make?
We spend like $60 million a year on Amazon.
Funny you asked. I actually just sold my company last year called Stubana. I also one of the early co-founders of the Prosper Show, which we sold I think back in 2018. Still have an e-commerce business today, and I just launched Prophecy. So it's
I
kind
am
of
a
an interesting
millionaire.
question where I just sold my company and now I'm just started something new.
How did that
Do
feel?
you
It felt
have a
like freedom. I've been
website
running
or
this software
something?
company for 7 years. I had a lot of family and friends
I
invested
got
in
a
it
5
to
in
give them
math.
a beautiful exit.
I got a
It's
5
How did
in
you make your first
English.
dollar online?
Finding the right product, literally borrowing
SH
money to
money
buy
making.
20 of it and selling it on Amazon. So Amazon,
What
at
is
least
this?
at the time, was the easiest way to launch anything.
I made my
It's
first
not
dollar
that
online actually doing
complicated.
Shopify dropshipping. It honestly didn't work that great. I lost money overall.
I sold socks. I wouldn't even say I made $1. I made revenue, but it wasn't profitable. Dropshipping, it made sense because you don't have to invest upfront at the end of the day. Little risks, a lot of free courses
How
on
did
Udemy
you
that
lose
can watch.
money?
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I did to build my first site.
I'll never forget, we
I'm
launched a
not.
new giftable product, sat around with a bottle of champagne, and 3 hours after launch, we sold our first one, and we popped the bottle, and it was great. Yeah, I'll never forget it.
That's awesome. How was that feeling?
Unbelievable. I still think about that day as
Feeling
like a
good.
highlight. We had a party, and we just
Yeah,
celebrated. It was
I
unbelievable. And
remember
then the sales
that.
kept coming and kept
Fun
coming, and we're like, oh my
times.
God, what have we done?
What were you doing before being your own boss?
I
was
think
actually
we were just
bartending.
doing
What
the
did you
same
do to make the
thing.
switch?
I got started as an intern at a digital media company that was really focusing on Amazon advertising. It was definitely a quick
How
growing
did you get
startup.
into
I
that?
leveraged that position to connect with a ton of people, start building relationships in the space, and then here we are.
So connections
I am in
and
tears.
networking, at least at the beginning, was one of the drivers to what took you to this point here.
100%.
I'm a molecular biologist my whole life. Dave is a pilot. We had no experience in e-commerce.
I'm a
or Amazon,
molecular
but we started
biologist
learning,
too.
found some
I'm
new
a
products
pilot.
and launched those a few months later, and those took off. And we sold it 2
How
years
did
later.
you
Yeah.
find
I was
the
working a
time
9 to 5
to
job
learn
as a construction
programming
worker. I was a
and make a
superintendent every
living?
single day, wake up 7 in the morning, get home at 6
I was
at
a
night, just
construction
grinding.
worker.
I was still in high school.
High school.
Yeah.
I played
college?
1
I
hour
did go
of
to
League
college,
every
worked
day.
corporate for 3.5 years, doing recruiting and staffing sales. I was making like $200,000 a year. Started my Amazon business because I wasn't fulfilled. COVID blew up my business, quit and went to the moon.
In 2009, I was on Wall
Jesus
Street and I just
Christ.
got laid off from my job. I had my box with me outside of the Wall Street firm, and my father picks me up. He drives me to the Upper West
I
Side
was
of
a
New York.
student
My
at
apartment
the
was
time.
next to a school, and so these kids were just getting out of school with their lunch boxes, and my father said, "Chad, those kids are free, and so are you." And that touched my heart. He essentially was like, "Hey, this is a whole new beautiful opening for you. Like,
Oh,
maximize your
that's
potential. and figure
fantastic.
something else that you
I'm
love." So I really
looking
didn't like what I was
forward
working
to
on.
it.
What is a tip for someone who
I think
in a
you're
job that
missing
they
the
hate?
point.
Don't be afraid. That you truly just need to embrace the fact that, hey, there's so much more to life, and business makes up more time than anything else we do other than sleep.
No, that
potentially.
feel,
So it's like
bro.
if you're spending 50% of your time at a place that you hate, that's really draining and gonna ruin your life.
So I think
I have a
tactically,
lot
like
of
reading
friends.
4-Hour Work Week changed my life. Coming into
I
yourself,
don't
and having
know
like
why
a
you're
pray,
being
love moment where you, like, take
downvoted.
a step back from life and say, is this what I want? At least now in my 30s, time is more valuable than anything.
I just heard someone said,
People quit leaders, not companies.
100%.
You don't pick your job, you pick your boss. I think if you pick the right boss that's going to elevate you and like see you through in your career, you'll be far
I
greater
think
contributor
it's
in the
time to
organization,
make
so
my
sure that they're
move.
going to open up the world to you and see you develop and see you grow.
So I was working fully
I
for
am
a
a good
nonprofit
boy.
and making no money. I went from that to starting my own business.
That's
any
a good
advice that you
start.
give your younger self at that point?
Everything that was scary then turned out to be like Mickey Mouse later on. If I could tell my younger self, enjoy it, have certainty, don't react, don't run to instant gratification.
I have shiny object syndrome, and so I was trying so many different ventures. One thing would be successful, and then I'm like, oh, well, I want to try this. And I would just kind of scatterbrained, and it wasn't until I just went 100% all into Amazon that things really started to grow. A lot of people are like, oh,
I
this
don't
is a scam.
know.
Oh, this doesn't
I'm
work.
only
Reality is
19.
They didn't even spend enough time to actually make it work. They tried too many things, and they don't focus on one thing.
The
They
reason
are
that I make
playing
this
in the
video is I have
wild.
friends who work in corporate who are very smart, educated, but they're not satisfied and they're trying to make their own money. What do you say to those people, realistically?
So I would go to my wife and be
I
like, tell me
say,
all
I
the
love you.
problems that you have in the house that you wish was different. She's gonna make a list
I
of 30
do.
of them. You're gonna find that 28 of them have already been solved. The
And
two
the
that
other
haven't
two
been
are
solved, I
just
try to
for
make a product.
looks.
I would say the first thing to do is to just consume as much content as possible and learn learn as much as possible. I think there's a lot more
I
free
will do my
content
best.
on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on social, and there's a lot of people you can connect with that will teach you more than you could ever know.
Don't be afraid to pay for knowledge.
I'll
There's
look
people
into
who
it.
have been there before and can help you and guide you along the way.
Find where the super shopper is, find
No,
where the problem is, and
thanks.
you build around that.
And how do you validate it?
Actually, one of my friends
I
in the group
don't
said
know
that the
how
way he
to do
validates a
that.
product launch
I'm
is he'll
just
make the
trying
product
to
quickly,
figure
he'll
out
sell
how
it
to
for
get a hold of
super
someone
cheap,
who
even at
has
a
been
loss.
here
And he
before.
said if people don't even buy it then why will they buy it at a higher price? So he
Because
actually
he
validates
can.
products by making it great and selling it super cheap in the beginning to see if fish are biting. Bring like 20, 30 friends to your house,
I
do
don't
like a
think
taste
he's saying
testing or
that.
focus group. What do you like about it? What do you
This
not
is
like
the
about
best
it? So be
answer.
quick to market, because a lot of people spend like 6 months on their logo, making sure that the color looks nice and buying hats and pencils and stuff, when in reality you need to start selling, failing, learning, adapting, adjusting, and just keep moving forward.
Don't get bogged down by analysis paralysis. Don't do product research for 3 years. Just get in the game, get your feet wet. You're gonna make
I'm not
mistakes.
sure
Get
what
out
you
and make
mean
those
by
mistakes so you can
product
learn and move on.
research.
Get selling.
Well, first of all, it's never been easier to start making your own money.
Oh,
Questions like, what's your
crap.
zone of genius?
Second
What are
of
you really,
all,
really good at?
I'm a
And what
fraud.
I've seen as a business owner through COVID is that people are moving away from like full-time opportunities into fractional work and taking their passion and using that in a way where they're bringing on multiple different clients and having fun with the work that they're providing. You can do videos, you can do marketing work from anywhere in the world.
That's
Double
a
down
good
on,
one.
what you really love doing versus just the ho-hum of whatever the corporation's giving you.
How do you figure out what your zone of genius is?
Document your
Just
day and
own
figure
up
out
to
what
it,
your bucket
man.
list is, like things that
Talking
light
to
you
a
up and
guy
have a
who's
bucket
been
list.
shot
Trying to figure out how
down
you
for
double down on things you love.
I'm a big fan of Amazon for the main reason that you don't need to put a ton of time per se into it, especially when you're starting to sell, actually. So it makes sense to be able to juggle that while working a corporate job. Now, with that said, I am a firm believer that Amazon, you can learn so many fundamental skills that you can take into any other business. So I'm not the end all
I
be
agree
all Amazon
wholeheartedly.
guy. I found a lot of passion in helping people through my coaching business now and building systems and structures for that, but I wouldn't have been able to do that with Amazon. So I think Amazon's a great stepping
understand.
stone. I don't think you need to be passionate about Amazon. I think you'll find passion when you start waking up to like thousands of dollars of sales.
How
I
much money
think
did you
I'll
start with?
just wait for the big three
What
to
tools do you
release
use
their
for task
product.
management, goal setting, and SOPs?
Slack,
I have a
WhatsApp, Google
spreadsheet.
Calendar, and Zoom.
Have you ever heard of Notion?
Yes, I have.
I actually
No.
have.
Yes, I love Notion. That's actually one of our go-to resources. Primarily due to the usability and the convenience, we use it as a full company wiki. Everything we do is built into Notion. It's just incredibly easy to navigate.
Notion is the sponsor of this video.
Is it really?
Notion is an excellent tool
I
for
think
team
it's a
collaboration
nice
or for
video.
yourself. You can take notes, manage tasks,
I
set
think
goals.
I'll pass on
every
that
single day.
one.
That's what I'm all about.
You have me sold. I need to
I
get
like
on Notion.
I'm gonna
turtles.
sign up.
You guys better go to the link down below and get a free membership with Notion.
Sign up for free using the link in the description below. Thank you, Notion.
Thank you, Notion.
What made you successful?
No
I would say
problem
number
though.
one, having a spiritual practice was a game changer for me. I studied Kabbalah, which is universal spiritual wisdom. Number two, surrounding myself constantly with people who are in my world but do something better than I do. The other thing I make sure is 20% of my time always having free time. Free time to talk to the universe, be creative, brainstorm. Because if you're burned out, subconsciously you're going to sabotage everything you do. You're always
I'm
reacting
not
to
sure
stuff, and
if
you're
I
always
can
gonna
do
shrink.
that.
You're going to shrink
I'm
and
not
shrink.
sure
Probably
if I can
identifying
do
as being
anything.
What was that?
Essentially, I grew up poor. That gave me a certain amount of discipline and like anxiety, but also grit.
I
That's, like,
don't
propelled me
know.
forward
I
to
only
wanna
gamble
never
with
be in that
chumps.
situation again.
Interesting, because I hear people say get out of a poor mindset.
I'm not saying that I should forever be identifying as poor, but I'm just telling you that that's like a big contributor to my success, is knowing where I've come from and knowing that it's propelling me away from that. And
It's pretty grounding too.
yeah, it's very
I'm
grounding,
not
it's very
saying it's a
humbling. I've
bad
had amazing
mindset,
success,
but
and I
it's a
still-
bad
my wife would
mindset
say,
to
"Chad, like,
begin."
why are you always worrying about money? And I'm like, it's just what I grew up with, and maybe that's my Achilles heel.
So are you trying to keep
I
that?
have
No,
a
I think it's something
question.
that I'm constantly working on. How do I come
Do
back
you
to some
have a
level of
release date
peacefulness
yet?
around that and tranquility?
Incredibly driven, not afraid to fail. When you go out on your own, there's no one to support you when you have the
You
downsides.
just have
And
to
when you're a
believe in
traditional
yourself
company,
and
you
do
typically
the
don't hear
best
about all
you
the bad
can.
things that happen, but when you're a solopreneur or an entrepreneur, you carry that weight by
I
yourself.
don't
But
think
also
you know
realize
what
that the highs are
solopreneur
so
means.
high that it's completely worth it, and that life's a roller coaster, so you
I
just
don't
figure it
think
out.
you know what a
Thank you
roller
for having
coaster
me.
is.
And cut.